Greetings, y'all! Welcome to Dungeons and Dragons Thursday. I am your host, XerakPlays. I'm joined by a lovely crew of wonderful players. I've got Crows playing Roroth.
Caw.
I've got Lavinian playing Aelmar.
Oh, hi.
Hi. You're like the guy on the 80s intro video that's like looks surprised to see the person who waves at the camera.
Right.
New boy in the neighborhood. We've got Lynx playing Felicity.
I'm small, but fierce.
But not right now, because he ain't got no magic. I got him. And then we will be joined later by Belisario, who is playing, or by Chrismite, who's playing Belisario. And we should have been joined already by, well, in 9 minutes, by Kiri, who is playing Kiri. Amazing how that works.
I mean, you were Xerak playing Xerak at one point. So.
That is very true, but I'm not now, and so thus it doesn't count. That's called branding, okay? I'd like to give a big shout out to Maven. Hope you're feeling better. I'm sorry you fell down. Don't do that anymore. What we used to tell my mom.
Down.
Yeah, she hurt her foot. She sent a tweet out about it.
That sucks.
Ooh.
That's why I don't mind saying it on air, because she sent a tweet about it. So. And a double big shout out to Eva.
Oh, she's awesome.
She's like not even bothering to stick her head in here. She's like, whatever. Who's going through hell at work right now. She spearheaded a project that just went live this week, and so it's been a very rough week. You know how that goes.
So, Lynx, Crows, or Roroth Felicity, what'd you think of Elmar's plan?
So far,
I think you're a dumbass.
Can we make a side trip back to Blingdenstone real quick?
No, the Blingdenstone is going to happen first.
Yeah, he's just talking about the plan.
Yeah, the plan sounds interesting, and I actually, Felicity be like, hey, I want to talk to you about something about the Fugue plane, and maybe finding someone there. But we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Who
Oh.
I noticed that Kiri is not online.
Kiri is apparently not online.
Yeah.
Jerk.
So anyway, chat, thank you for coming to hang out. We appreciate it. If you have any questions, please.
You're gonna need to play D&D.
What is she saying?
She's like, how do I interject myself into the conversation? I'm like, you can play D&D.
Roll up a fucking character. That's how.
Xerak says, roll up a fucking character. That's how.
Got him. Yes, so we'll get the rest of the group together, and that'll be fun. Oh,
We're getting the band together.
Getting the band back together. So a little monster cat.
That name has special meaning to me.
Monster cat?
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a cat named Monster once?
No, it's all over Rocket League.
Oh, well, yeah. It's also music that can be played on streams and Twitch and stuff. Oh, yeah, that's right. I slowed down my camera panning speed.
So you can't go around.
I can. I just did it in the hopes that I would stop nauseating my stream. Look at that party. Look at that new graphic. Standing in front of their home of operations, Sundabar. It's Kiri the Conqueror, Belisario the Storm Priest, Nepentha the Shadow Blade, Felicity the Druid, question mark, Regina the Songstress, Elma the Necromancer, or Necromancer? Necromancer. Necromancer sounds cool. And Gift the Acolyte. I almost said the Acolyte. Gift. Wait. I guess both work, but... Who is this gift person? We'll find out. Stay tuned.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Same bat your mom.
Burn.
So my favorite part of last week's session, I know Felicity's kind of taken like center stage on last week's session, but I have to say I particularly loved the kobold.
Kobold?
Yep. It was fun. Bot chirp.
I don't remember much because my brain was too preoccupied with having to kill someone and not having to kill someone, and my brain was all over the place.
And to think it could have been your mom's brains all over the place.
Yes, I know. Believe me, I remember a lot. Is that episode up to watch yet on the YouTube?
It is not up on YouTube. I
Okay.
need to put it up. So the problem is that I have to wait a certain time period to do it. Actually, let me go and check real quick. Because I want
to watch it, but I want to watch
have
it on YouTube so you get
I
to
believe
see
it's a 48-hour embargo on anything I stream on Twitch before I can post it to other platforms.
Okay.
Which, admittedly, it's been a week, but I'm also, as we all know, a piece of shit. So, excuse me. Let's see. What do I have ready to Ooh, hold on. Let's see.
Hey, Carrie.
How does it have a copyright claim?
Your own video?
Well, all my videos have copyright. That's it. I'm not playing music anymore. Bye-bye. I just need like breath sighing sound effects or something. I can't figure this shit out. I'm playing royalty-free music. Let's see what the copyright claim is. Hold on. And also, hello, Kiri.
Yeah.
How are you feeling, my
Tired.
dude? Why so tired, Sir Knight?
Been working pretty much all day on trying to clean up the area, build a new desk,
Nice.
and that's about as far as I got.
It'll be great when it's finished, though, right?
Literally almost like 2.5 hours building this desk. I'm very bad.
I
And then
understand.
I broke it like before I was even finished, so that's pretty cool.
You broke it? Well, how did you break it?
It has like there are a couple of attachments on it. There's a dongle to hang like your headphones on, and then there's a dongle for a cup holder.
Yeah.
Which I decided to put that on the front, and then kind of later when I was trying to do more stuff, I went to go turn the desk over, and I rotated it on the edge that had the dongle on it, and yeah.
You dingled the
So,
dongle.
Yeah, I dingled the dongle before I realized what I was doing.
Is it the angle of the dongle? There's that uncomfortable silence I was looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy. Nailed it. All right. There is episode 30 posted.
Did it tell you what your copyright was?
Yeah, I'm trying to look that up too. I really want to see because it's supposed to tell me. Let's see, 30 copyright claim. Made it public. Where do I see? This video was found to contain copyrighted material. As a result, it cannot be monetized. Channel impact not affected. Visibility public. Monetization ineligible. Ad revenue paid to copyright owner. Copyright owners believe music on behalf of say Maxwell.
Who?
Max Headroom?
It's some song that's playing in the
Okay.
background. So, yeet. And then, so I don't forget, because Lynx was kind enough to remind me. Lynx, I need you to remind me these things on like Monday or Sunday to post my videos and not be an idiot.
Okay. I just know I wanted to wait because I wanted you to get the view.
I appreciate. Got that there. I've been like doing all my keywords and bullshits and custom descriptions and like typing them up ahead of time. Bam. So 30 and 31 are now available on the YouTube. So basically on the YouTube, we have our first session and then the last 7 sessions. So
Nice.
yeah, and then I've been trying to be smart and stop my stream before we do D&D so that D&D is encapsulated rather than the ones where I played like Conan for 4 hours before D&D. And so it's like this 9-hour long video. As it is, they're only 5-hour long videos, so good stuff. So let's see if we get any copyright claims this week, huh? I won't play any music. It'll be dead air in here, and I'll go a little insane inside. You know what? Actually, I can listen to my stream.
Oh.
I know, but I go crazy if it's there. It drives me insane.
You know, Kiri, you could listen to music on your end too.
True. In fact, I encourage everyone to listen to music, even if you're watching live in the stream. Go listen to some music in the background because it's better. There are times where people are nose deep in a book, reading shit, or maybe they're just a bad dungeon master and they don't want you to judge them. Just kidding. Sure, suck my dick. Not necessary. Actually, you don't have to suck anything. So thank you, gentlemen, for joining us this evening as we continue on to session 32. 32 weeks of Dungeons and Dragons. Never a week missed, I believe, right?
Outside of holidays.
Of course.
Did we miss for a holiday?
I think there was one. At least one.
Huh. Dude, probably
There was
Thanksgiving
one.
and Christmas.
Yes.
Just one.
It was just the one, though. It was Thanksgiving.
32 weeks of D&D. And here we are back again. Previously, as you may recall, we had flown/sailed on Belisario's airship to Calimport. Our objective in Calimport being Felicity, of course, wants to see her mothers, plural, and B, Aelmar is seeking a piece of information that he knows lies somewhere within the city. So the party kind of split up a bit, and Aelmar went towards Wizard Ward, the famous ward of spellcasters within the city. Felicity, Kiri, and Roroth, and went to, where did Penn go? Penn just ditched, right? Yeah, she and Belisario went to go sell stuff. Yeah. So Belisario and Nepentha went to sell some their cargo that they brought to the city and procured some rooms for the party, while the rest went to Felicity's home. Aelmar was able to make contact with the local Wizards Guild, the Guild Arcane, and in fact meet with one of their higher ups. Had a lovely conversation and made a bargain to have access to their teleportation circle in the city in exchange for granting them access to the one in Sundabar in the Temple Ward. So works out quite well. It's fostering some new trade back and forth as well. So it's always good. But then Aelmar also got access to the Grand Public Library and was able to track down a piece of information that I'll let him reiterate here in a bit. Meanwhile, as before, Felicity began having some weird visions, not in the same completely brain encapsulating way as happened in the Underdark, but nonetheless, some aspect of Shar was attempting to speak with Felicity and communicate the need for Felicity to complete a job started before. See, Felicity had a vision where she was ordered to kill a follower of Saloon, the moon goddess and arch enemy of Shar. Felicity followed through with that task and stabbed with a sacrificial knife a follower of Saloon as she swam in a pool, only to discover it was her own mother. Now, that was a vision, or so Felicity thought, but upon arriving at the house of her parents, In the orphanage that they ran, they find an empty building with a single, far older looking fire genocide living inside. Mourning the loss of her spouse for the last year and a half, 2 years. She's aged quite considerably, especially after being attacked by local bands of human thugs who resented their former genocide overlords and enslavers lash out at all genocide remaining in the city. She lost her sight, and it had been a difficult time, a transition going from a motherly nature to almost a grandmotherly nature pretty quickly. You could say the fires had died out in her heart. But she was quite pleased to see her daughter again. And
Wait. See her daughter?
Yeah, that didn't kill the moment. And thus told her daughter the story of her other mother's death, which sent Felicity into an extreme crisis. Felicity wandered up to her mother's rooms and saw in a mirror a vision of her killing her other mother and the promises of power that would come along with it, and knowing that her goddess was speaking to her, Felicity considered the action. Various members of the party tried to find out what was going wrong with her until she opened up to Nepenthe. Nepenthe, of course, is an assassin, though not a cruel or mean one at all, and offered, should the need arise, that she would do the deed to spare the anguish to Felicity. Felicity even considered that. But it was through the intervention of Kiri, Aelmar, and Roroth, I believe.
Indirectly, Roroth.
That Felicity decided that she didn't owe anything to anyone, and that she had traipsed along this path of the Dark Goddess long enough, and that she was going to abjure her. However, in choosing to follow the Dark Goddess, Felicity had already abjured Saloon and been severed from the Weave and only had access to the Shadow Weave. And upon giving up that which was Shar in her heart and tossing away the medallion, she gave up access to the Shadow Weave and lost it as well. So Felicity has been fully severed from magic. Not a great thing for a druid, considering all your abilities are magic in nature. So Felicity, well, maybe relieved at not having to kill her mom and finding out that it was an assassin that carried out the death of her other mom, a shadow assassin, and not herself, but just in mirror form to her own actions, and quite literally perhaps even seeing through the eyes of the assassin through the vision.
Ooh, I didn't think of that. Ouch.
Yeah, you actually experienced the moment of the death, but it wasn't your hand that wielded the blade.
Oh, that's harsh. Ouch.
Yeah, but your intent was there, so you might as well have done it. I
Yeah,
don't want to alleviate all guilt, but knowing this and the fact that she knows this is actually a gift of Saloon routed through her former acquaintance LaRue, who is a dead god, but a piece of whose essence lies within the mount of Kiri and also Kiri's spear. So yeah, and that is about where we left off. Now, RP this week has taken us to a number of different places. There's been, of course, the RP is in our Discord server, which is available to subscribers. I'm really considering putting those channel as view able to all Twitch subscribers as well. So if I get a subscriber tonight, I'll absolutely do that. But there's a lot of RP that happens during the week. It's all in character on our Discord server in a text channel. Roroth, I believe, learned the wonderful art of baking.
I wouldn't say learned.
I'll just say learned is a strong word.
Learn the hazards of baking, maybe.
Experienced baking.
Experienced baking is good.
And chopping. You learn to dice things.
Yeah,
Sort of.
No. He did
Yeah.
chopping. I don't think he even attempted to learn dicing.
Well, I mean, he stabbed his fingers a few times. Let's see. Aelmar had completed his journey to Sunbar with the Wizard of the Arcane Ward, or excuse me, the Arcane Guild of the Wizard Ward. solidifying some points with that contact, had done some research, and had arranged a lovely meeting at the inn where we find our party sitting for dinner around a table, speaking with Aelmar about Aelmar's grand plan. Now, at this point, everyone should have read through the plan, so we're not going to rehash the whole thing because we got to give the people a reason to subscribe. But
I definitely did not read it just 5 minutes ago.
that's fine. You're probably fresher on it than I am. I read it while playing Pathfinder earlier. Looked over at my camera and went, "Sorry, stream." Actually, the first thing I said was, "Jesus fucking Christ, Lev, I have to read this."
I did my job then.
You did. You really did. But we will take it up at that point where Aelmar stands up from the table and says, "Questions?" And scene. Action.
I apologize for throwing a wrench in things, but isn't all this a bit premature?
What do you mean?
Well, Felicity has lost the use of her magic. I would think that aiding her is going to be priority number one.
Well, of course, I'm laying out the plan for what our next steps are on this current thing. I did tell Felicity I would take her to see Entomok tomorrow morning.
Oh, I didn't tell you that, Kiri. I'm sorry. A lot's happened.
So,
I needed to secure the teleportation circle of the city before I could take her, but I can take her in the morning.
yes, but what about this Rin here?
I'm not following.
You swear she
Your
just
girlfriend?
you swear she just purred at you when you said that.
Well, you have her under contract already, but we're not actually ready to leave, correct?
I have her under contract for 30 days.
I see.
Oh.
She goes and she literally has said nothing this whole time, but at this point she kind of pouts, leans over the table, grabs a morsel, pops it in her mouth, and then she goes and lays on one of the plush divan. By the way, this is very posh place. Plush divans against one of the walls of the room and picks up a book and starts reading it.
I'll kind of motion Elmar over a little bit further away from Rin and lower my voice so that theoretically she won't be able to hear.
Elmar will come over.
I'm not entirely sure why we have a stranger in our midst for a plan C when what we're doing is liable to cause problems with more than a few entities.
Well, as I explained, Rin
Dangerous
is
opportunity for a leak.
that is not possible. Rin is under contract through magic.
Oh. So.
Planar binding.
Oh, okay.
Elmar will
Okay, I'll take your word for that.
Elmar will start going into the arcane theorem around planar binding, which Kiri probably starts glazing over. And
Yeah, just a little bit.
There's a really loud and really obvious yawn coming from over on the divan.
Yes. Okay. Sure. The abyss, though.
Again, that is a that is kind of the backup plan.
Okay.
The thought is that is not going to be.
I am a little uncomfortable with how detailed your backup plan is, but
I wanted to ensure we were not stuck in the fugue plane.
Penn leans over. You think that's detailed? You should have seen our first 12 or so escape attempts. Step 1 was always find papers so we can write down and draw a plan.
Well, of course.
Okay, so first, though, I assume we're aiding Felicity. What happens if that turns out to be a lengthy process?
Well, if that turns out to be a lengthy process, it turns out to be a lengthy process.
I believe this is Penn. I believe
Elmar
if we're
kinda
going
lean-
into a situation where she's going to be in danger and she doesn't have powers, then perhaps it is best that Felicity stays in Sundabar while the rest of us accomplish the tasks that we need to accomplish.
Well,
Elmar kind of leans in. I can rebind after 3 days. We can renegotiate.
okay. I mean, I assume there's no. Is there some sort of time crunch on this desire of yours?
Time crunch? No.
Okay.
I love
Like-
how
I'd like to get it done. Sooner is better than later, but it's all for it's all in the name of research.
This Onasu, is he a demon as well?
I do not believe so.
You
And
take
from my understanding, he is a priest of this ancient culture. I do not know if he is alive, if he's dead, if he's in between. I do not know. I know of his name.
So you're expecting us to steal from a holy man to sneak into the land of the dead, where we will break into the fortress or whatever that is of forgotten people in order to use a circle for a building? What kind of fool do you take us for?
Nepentha looks at you and just stares for a moment and then says, I believe my brother iterated that the plan was to get a ride, not steal from a holy man.
Correct.
Well, stealing was Plan B.
It is, well, yes.
Let's not. Yeah,
Isn't that always
maybe
Plan
just
B?
ignore
Actually, that was one thing I meant to bring up, brother. She's still looking at Roroth. Stealing or looting? Because we could always just kill the person and take it, right?
Well,
Or,
again,
face
Mm,
palms.
that. No.
the idea
She's doing it
is
on purpose to
Did
irritate
you
Roroth.
just suggest that we murder the guide of of dying souls that take them to the fugue plane? Because that seems
no.
cataclysmically bad.
No.
And I just kind of stare at Penn.
She shrugs.
This guide is the guide of souls of an ancient, no longer existing peoples, to take their kings to the fugue plane. I do not believe he has any work.
Oh, really?
Yes.
She looks puzzled.
If he's a divine of people who are no longer here, how does he have any power? How can he even power a ship like that?
I do not know. That is, again, my plan is to go to where we can summon him and have a conversation.
It troubles me that he looks over at the woman on the bed,
Mm-hmm.
that she is here.
Her skirt's ridden up really high. You can see a lot more thigh than you could before. She's just kind of kicking one of her feet, laying back, kind of cross-legged while reading the book.
Coloca, bitch.
Cloaca. Cloaca.
Hey.
Cloaca.
I'm not one of them educated y'all.
Cloaca, bitch.
Okay, so fair enough. I will still aid as well as I can, although
Kira, you can't be serious to go along with this scheme.
Why
I
not?
owe a great deal to Elmar.
And this plan has Musk.
I'll show you Musk.
I thought those muffins tasted bad.
Elmar was instrumental in putting to rest the chaotic energies of Silvery Moon. in recovering the spark of LaRue that I now hold, and in the retaking of Sundavar.
This plan's a suicide mission. We'll be stuck in the fugue plane.
I'm not as concerned about that. I believe that we are capable enough that we can make a way as needed. I am
Yes.
much more concerned about us meddling in affairs of scope and impact. We could end up changing things unintentionally that could have cosmic level.
Well,
ripples.
let's not do that.
I would agree. I would think we should all be very careful and very reserved in our actions when we are in that plane, and refrain from too much improvisation.
Agreed.
Fool's errand. He grits his teeth and looks directly at Elmar. That witch has ordered me to serve you. So I will follow, but no, I am not happy.
Hmm.
Speaking of which,
Very
there
well.
is another concern, Elmar. Felicity, do you want to tell him about the vision?
Oh, yes. Um, Rorath, or Uncle Rorath, has decided uh, to give my mom the egg that he carries for protection. And my mom has these visions sometimes when she gets, and she's kind of stammering and blushing, looking over at the lady looking on the couch, and she gets these visions, and she had one when she touched the egg, and let's see if I can remember it. It said, let's see, I think I wrote it down here. Let me pull it out. One moment, I pull it out here.
Just let me whip it out.
Let me whip this out. She said, "A bitter winter storm will blow, parting thee from all ye know. Go with the wind and soar, else this world thou wilt see no more. The child hale and safe will lie, never seen by Savior's eye." And then she got really, really tired and had to go to bed.
Interesting.
Can I get you a drink, Lady Rin?
Oh, do be a dear. I prefer brandy in the evenings.
Oh, okay. Penny, which one's a brandy?
Pen points to a bottle that she's actually drinking from. That one is.
Thank you. Friendship.
So I don't know if that was for Roroth or for Roroth's charge, or for all of us, but we may pushed in another direction as well. Just
Interesting.
keep in mind.
Felicity, what can you tell me of your mother's visions?
Well, hold on. Here you go, Lady Rin. She basically poured like one of the biggest glasses she could find and poured it almost to the top. Because, doesn't know they're there. The visions. Whenever mom and we would get like a new child into the orphanage, she would get these visions, and they were usually about the future. I don't know if she had one about me. wish I would know. But they were usually about something about the child or something about the future. But I don't really know too much more about it. My other mom used to pay more attention.
Did she have visions through touch or by sight?
I don't remember, but she had this vision when she touched the egg.
Hmm.
But they were almost always triggered by the children that she took under her wing.
Was she touching Roroth at all?
Roroth was holding the egg when she touched it.
I was helping her hands across the eggs as well.
It is possible that if she had the vision while touching the egg and Roroth, it could have meaning for both of them. I am not a diviner. I do not know much about the mysteries of visions and portents, but I can try to puzzle this one out as best I can.
Visions are tricky things, as we all well know, but we would do as
Indeed.
well to at least pay some mind to their warnings.
Well, if anyone
And
could
given I
figure it
did
out-
not hear the inflection or the actual vision spoken aloud, it'll be very difficult to really understand it.
I tried. That's the best I can remember.
Unfortunately, to truly understand a vision, you need to generally hear the vision spoken at the time the vision is had. Given that I was not there, it could be very difficult for me to decipher. Mostly inflection can have meaning as well. Where the person who is having the vision is looking, which direction they're facing, where their hands are, where their feet are, all of this has import.
So for now, our next step is to go back to Blingdenstone tomorrow morning and see what
That
we
is
can discuss
correct.
with.
We are going to go to Blingdenstone and visit we are going to Entomoc's boon. The teleportation circle for Blingdenstone is within the boon itself.
In the meantime, Felicity, is this a good city for shopping?
Kalimport?
Yeah.
Are you kidding? This is like one of the major ports of the South. If you want to find it, it's probably here.
Okay.
Just I couldn't guarantee its providence. And then at the kind of blank look on your face goes, it may not be the person who's selling its property. So be careful.
Oh.
But yeah, you could find a lot of stuff here.
Pen perks her head up. I can steer you away from the less reputable merchants, but there are plenty both in Market Ward and Trades Ward that can steer you right, depending on what you're looking for.
I was just going to get a few potions and such, just to make
You
sure
want Wizard
we're
Ward.
stocked up. Okay.
Yeah, Kalimport is huge. If you're looking for something to buy, there's someone to sell it here.
Right. Well, I was going to do a bit of shopping this evening, unless we had more to discuss.
Not unless you have any additional questions. And Elmar does look at Roroth. Roroth, I'm sorry you found my plan distasteful, but this is important.
He nods.
We will just need to be very careful.
Indeed.
We're always careful. And when we're not, the backup plan always comes through.
You have to have contingencies just in case things don't turn out to. And half the time, even the contingencies are sketchy.
I cast a sideways look.
People like to improvise.
So Pen, shall we go take a look around?
Certainly. She hops up. looks at her bottle and looks over at the succubus that keeps waving an empty glass at Felicity to fill up.
I think you mean nice human woman.
Yes.
Yes,
human
I
woman.
meant nice human woman and not totally the thing I just gave away on accident. Oops. Sorry. It's because I'm sitting
Nice
here
human
typing up a
woman.
background for a bit for Rora for gift, and I'm like totally distracted. So yeah, sure, let's go.
And I'm just kind of looking to acquire a few potions for the ones I drank recently.
What are you looking for?
I really liked that speed potion, so I want a couple of those. What are the different healing levels? I gotta look again.
I mean, this is a major metropolitan area. I don't know at what tier we have to start like rolling to find stuff for particular potions, but if they're all on the easily findable tier, I'm not even that worried about it. You do find them, so.
So if I go back to here, finding magic items. I'm pretty sure Kalimport is on my finding magic items list,
I would hope so.
given the size of Kalimport. All right, Kalimport. It is not. Hold on.
Well, that sucks.
Well,
I'm gonna be honest. Use Waterdeep's list.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's a Metropolis.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Agrabah.
All right, so you can buy spell scrolls, cantrips through 8th level.
Jesus.
Consumables up to 5,120 gold pieces, not including ammunition. You can find +1 weapons, +1 armor, +1 shield, vicious weapons, adamantine or mithril armor. You can find Wand of the War Mage +1 and ammunition +1. If you're looking for anything specific, common magic items, there's an 80% chance likelihood that it'll have them. Uncommon 60%, rare 40, very rare 20, and legendary 10% chance.
The one thing to know about Kalimport, unlike Waterdeep, is I will roll for costs, always not in your favor.
Yeah.
I will say in the Wizard Ward with Aelmar with you, since he's already introduced himself to the Guild Arcane and been accorded something of a status with them, they would charge him cost, or book cost. I mean, not like cost. They charge him book cost for stuff without hesitation. With Penn, she's gonna have to barter a lot for it. But you don't know that, so we're going. So.
And,
all I'm looking to acquire is 2 potions of speed, 3 potions of superior healing, and a potion of supreme healing.
If they're in your price limits, they're within the 5,100 price limit, he said?
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah. They're like a few hundred gold. Or whatever.
In fact, healing potions you could even get over in Faith's Ward too. So, because
I mean, Penn said go to Wizard's Ward, so we're going to Wizard's
well,
Ward.
you said potions, you didn't say what kind. So, but potion of speed, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yep.
once they leave, Aelmar will write down the vision word for word and start kind of deciphering it.
Yeah, and I'll do my best to kind of go back over the inflections as best I can, and etc.
He's more just writing. He's not asking questions.
Okay. Then I will refill the Lady Rin's drink and blush a lot.
She pats you on the head. How old are you? Gnome, right? You're of age.
Yeah.
No.
Come. Fine. I told you this has to be fun.
You can have your fun.
What about the big scaly one?
No.
I promise I won't take any.
Of age for what?
Perhaps if you have consent, as long as you do not take anything.
Sex. That's what she says too.
Really?
Yes.
All right. She blushes so hard and like, he's like, oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh, you're so sweet. You're too young to despoil. You're too innocent. Come to my room later.
Yeah, the stammer. Oops.
He also noticed every
Right.
time she walks by Aylmar, she like rubs his shoulders and everything like that. She likes pushing boundaries. Yeah, so as you do you say anything to Penn as you walk to Wizard Board?
Do you have any thoughts about all this? Elmar's
Yeah,
plan?
Aylmar's plan. I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about the guy following us on the rooftops. I'd given it some consideration. It seems something he's wants to do. That book is very important to him. It's dangerous, but I've learned long ago that I can't steer my brother from danger, only try to protect him from it. You always have to remember my brother's incredibly, incredibly smart. And that intelligence, that ability to figure things out and solve puzzles often comes across as wisdom.
I'm just concerned we seem to have a habit of mixing ourselves up in the affairs of the gods.
I mean, to be fair, you're the only one who's mixed us up in the affairs of gods. I've been very god-free.
Don't you recall when we were escaping from the Underdark?
Well, that wasn't us getting mixed up in. That was them messing with us. That's a kind of a different story, I suppose.
Still, I had hoped to avoid it. Even this, and I kind of pick up my spear and spin it and look was not.
My brother's
exactly what I
concerned about
intended.
more than a fancy tower. Although to hear him talk of this tower, it's the home of, of the soul from time immemorial or something. But the biggest thing that scares him is that, and she points at your sphere.
What?
Silveryman was destroyed by Loth and LaRue fighting. Two gods on the mortal plane fought. Why? They don't do that. They've never done that in the history of this world. That's what scares my brother.
Wasn't the
weren't
the encounters with what was his name? Ghana. You know, that mad god down
the slime god?
Yeah, wasn't there something similar going on there? Didn't have something to do with him meddling in the mortal plane?
Why were princes of elemental earth existent on the mortal plane, for that matter? My brother won't tell me any theories, but it's enough that I know he's worried and he scribbles in his book constantly. But, he says he won't tell me until he knows for sure, and he has some more concrete evidence. And I think that's part of the reason he wants us to undertake this mission. I think in a very real way, he's doing this for all of Toril. I'm an elf. So is he. We live for a long time. Tend to look at things in the movements of decades and centuries, not in the movements of minutes and hours. but he's
Yes, well, this journey to the fugue plane could definitely have an impact that will be measured in centuries.
but I think he's more concerned of if we don't find out something, it could affect the future, very future of this world. But I don't know. I can only guess what my brother does. I'm observant. I can read his body language, but I can't know what's in his mind. She stops for a moment, hops up on a wagon, and stares at a roof line for a moment. I didn't make deals to be followed in the entire city, she says to no one in particular. Hops off and keeps walking with you.
Do you think do with you?
Hmm?
Whoever you said is following us, is that just
Oh, it's a thief. Don't worry about it.
oh, okay. Well,
I obviously wasn't able to meet with every Pasha in the city, but I got the Dock Ward Pasha, and Wizard Ward should report, if anything, they're not going to mess with any of the wizards in the area, and it's probably known by those who need to know that I am Ilmar's sister, so that's one thing. Faith's Ward, that was pretty easy to do. I just went to the right churches. The Pasha in Faith's Ward is a high priest. It's hilarious to me. And anyway, she leads you on your shopping and will escort you back to the inn. Where at that point, it seems to be getting late. She curls up and she bids you adieu, goes to her room, and goes to bed for the night.
book price for the
Yeah.
potions.
Yeah, go ahead and do book price in this instance.
Cool. Are you doing anything else this evening special?
All right. If no one else has anything to add, then we will go ahead and call this a night for the characters and proceed into the next morning.
Okay.
I guess my only question is, where does Felicity spend her night?
Felicity is going to go back home and spend the night with her mom. She feels real uncomfortable with that pretty lady. And yeah, so she promises, though, she will be back at the inn bright and early before the sun comes up in the morning.
Good job, Felicity.
Good job. You stay
I'm
pure.
proud of you.
So anybody that wakes up in the morning in the suite finds Aelmar scribbling at pieces of paper when you guys wake up.
And true to word, Felicity is back before the sun comes up.
Pen comes up and sets coffee down.
Ah, thank you.
You're welcome. Here you go, Felicity. Have a cup.
Oh, coffee. I haven't had a good cup of coffee in years.
Yeah, and honestly, that's probably the best thing about Calimport is the good coffee you can get here.
Definitely. She mixes it up all nice. A little bit of milk, cream.
Can't really picture a bunch of elves drinking coffee.
Pen rattles off that it's a brew apparently from farms in Chult.
Chult coffee is some of the best. There are dinosaurs there.
So I've heard.
You might, if you're lucky, see some here.
That would actually not surprise me. Sadly, but no dinosaurs. No dinosaur shapes for you.
Well, not right now.
Ah, very well, Felicity. I think I am about ready. Are you ready to go?
Yes. I have brought my pretty dress for Prince Entama.
Very well. Who is all coming?
This was there something else to do?
We're going to
I'm coming.
Oh, very well. Elmar kind of looks over at Nepentha and at Roroth and at Belisario.
I'll come with.
I've had a thought.
Promise.
I've had a thought in the night, and I don't think I should go with you. I actually spent half the night over at Felicity's mom place keeping an eye out because I'm worried that Felicity's previous benefactor is not the kind of person to let things go without a bit of vengeance. Perhaps I should stay here and keep an eye on her?
Very well. Do you want me to leave backup for you?
Yeah, if you want to give me Racker or Baron or something, sure.
You
Or,
see Felicity's face go ashen, and she's like, I didn't even think of that. Thank you so much, Penny.
Or Jimmy. I'll take Jim Jar with me. He can at least keep
Jim
up
Jar.
with me.
Jimmy!
Yeah, Jim Jar can keep up. So I'll let Jim Jar hang with Nepentha. Try Jim Jar follow Nepentha's orders to a T. Very well. We shall go then. And Elmar will lead you guys into a carriage that takes us to Wizard's Ward.
Dude, when you said that, I got goosebumps. I didn't even think of that.
I know you didn't, but I decided to be nice. Okay, so you take the carriage to Wizard Ward, and you get to the palace, which I believe is in the Tarsage, that big blank area you see there. I believe that's just a big building.
I thought it was in the Najah.
Oh, you know what? You may be right. It's probably that big building on the edge of the Najah. It's in the Sultan's Palace, basically, is where I had you go. Yeah. But he takes you to it. Of course, people open your carriage for you. It's, and escort your group. No problem to. Well, you don't even have to go to the teleport circle, though.
I don't.
Yeah, you just want to.
This is more for status.
Fair enough. Okay. You go, and you are able to port directly to the Chamber of Entomog.
Oh, that is a feeling I've not felt in a while. As I look up at the tons of stone above me.
Right. That's probably the other reason Ben decided to stay behind.
Felicity just looks around and breathes like a sigh of relief and I love this place.
Very well. Entomog, we have come for audience.
Nothing happens. Entomog's not there to be seen. You're in the room, and it does appear somewhat different. Polished, cleaned. The floor were places that cracks and other things that you'd seen, and especially where some of the larger crystal shards had fallen during the big earthquake, seeming repaired or put back to some place. And there are a couple minor elementals moving around in here, as well as a group of Svirfniblin who seem to be very surprised at your entrance. However, they bear some very familiar markings. I forget what the particular order was, but they're related to the Emerald Enclave.
The Stonehearts?
Yeah, the Stonehearts.
Stonehearts, yeah.
Stoneheart Enclave.
Yeah. So you recognize some members of the Stoneheart Conclave who maintain the summoning circle here.
At least the druids are here.
Indeed.
Felicity, you want to talk to them?
Sure. I will walk up to one of the priests, the druids, and introduce myself. Hello. Do you remember?
They walk over and they're like, Lady Felicity, the Sunseekers.
Yes.
I thought I recognized you, but it took me a moment. Greetings, and they kind of do a little Svirfneblin greeting for you. Tell me, why have you come? Remember, the Svirfneblin are very taciturn, almost worse than dwarves, except with close friends and family. And these guys all seem pretty open and cheerful.
Recent events have caused me to seek the aid of Prince Entama for counsel.
Then we will need to perform a grand summonings. Tell us, will you join us in the circle?
I would love to, but I do not have access to the weave.
Oh my.
And that is part of what I wish to entreat Prince Intamak. But I would love to join in spirit.
Well, if you've lost access to the weave, then you may have lost access to some of the orders, and I'm not sure we could let you participate in a ritual, but that's not for me to say. Please, let me show you to the camp that we keep here near the boon. Make yourselves at home. He leads you over to a series of tents. I will send a runner to the city and see what can be done. In fact, I will go myself.
Lady Nala, I believe, is. This is me asking out of character. Was that her, Lady Nala?
Let me pull it up real quick. Her name was. Where's the NPC sheet? In the public folder? Notable NPCs. Sure is.
There we go.
Notable gnomes and spearfniblin. Yentha? Yentha.
Yeah, Yenta, that's her.
Foxrock? Really? Is that what I named her? God, don't let me drink anymore. Belisario only has one L. Flips table. All right. So yeah. Apparently they sent a runner to Yintha. I swear her name is not Coxrock. I didn't do that. That's
It is. No,
I
it
asked
is.
a couple times if that's how it was spelled, and yeah. If you want to change it to Cold Rock or something, definitely feel free.
No,
It was
I'm
like-
looking it up. This
It's
is a
like
this is a
Rock.
this is a literal NPC. Man, that's too funny. This is gonna drive me crazy. Can't find it. I give up. Sure, Coxrock it is. Because never mind. Yeah. So he shows you to a campsite, tells you to set up. You know, it's probably gonna be a day before he comes back. So what do you guys do?
We will, at least Elmar is going to continue doing additional research, but he will speak to those Neblin that are there.
Okay.
Just small talk.
Same.
Okay. They chit chat with you guys. Some, one of them was actually there the day that the Plitting King was killed, because nearly most of their population was. They tell you that Blingdenstone has actually been growing quite a bit in the last year since you helped them take care of some of their problems. Things have been going a lot smoother. They were able to bring some more of their people down. In fact, the last of their people have come from the dwarven settlements where they've been living. You do hear that Minzo was strangely quiet for a while, and in fact, there are now gates leading into Minzo Branson, according to scouts. Strong
Gates?
Like, as in, there was caves and tunnels leading into the city, but they never bothered to put gates on them. Doors.
So they blocked them.
Now there's massive adamantine doors blocking every passage into Minzo Bronson.
Interesting.
That's not foreboding at all.
Why would the drow want to barricade themselves in?
Knowing them, it's to barricade people out.
That's not like them, though. It's really not. They're the
That's true,
masters
actually.
and the lords down here. They don't care.
Yeah, they're the
They'll
alpha
wa-
predator.
They wall their towns or their compounds because they're worried about each other killing each other because they're very
Right.
aggressive. But they don't worry about an outside force invading. For any army that would come in there would get annihilated.
That's
So
true.
so they're either afraid of something or hatching something and don't want spies.
Perhaps the demon incursion is worse down here.
But a day does pass and Yentha does come.
Yentha! I'll run over and give her a hug.
And she hugs you and pats you on the head, a little stiffly, but that's her. She's not a hugger. Um,
How's Yelith?
Elith as well. Thank you for asking. I understand you wish to entreat Lord Entebok, but you've been severed from the weave.
Oh, yes.
That is concerning.
It is.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, Cat.
Perhaps the reason the weave separation occurred is required Felicity.
The reason that I've been severed from the weave is I have given up and forsworn is the word. The path of Shar. And she didn't quite like that, and so
And she's just staring at you right now the second you say Path of Shar. I'm sorry.
Well, I was.
You're a member of the Emerald Enclave. You're not how would you walk the path of? Why would you walk the path of Shar?
Well, as a child, as a child, I followed both paths, and there was Shar and Saloon, and then I kind of had a disc, and I followed both of them, and then I had a vision where I had to choose one or the other, and then I had to kill a follower of one or the other, and I decided to kill a follower of Saloon, and that was my mom. And then it turns out it really was my mom, but I didn't really kill my mom, so that's a relief. Oh, thank goodness. But it turns out that it wasn't really my mom that was killed by me. It was killed by a follower of Shar, and I didn't want to follow Shar anymore. And I never really liked following Shar, but it was like, I figured it was my path. And she saved my life in the darkness when I was a child, and then I was dying in the desert. And so, it seemed like the thing to do. But all this stuff there, which was really, really bad. And so I decided I would forsake her service. And when I threw the amulet in the water, boom! It exploded, and the shadow came out there and tried to kill us. And luckily,
Why
Kiri
did this
over there
just turn
stabbed
into
us.
Bill Cosby telling the story? And then the shadow came out
I
and
ran
tried
to
to...
get the pudding and pop. Then Kiri stabbed it with the spear, and so yeah, and so
She looks a little taken aback by everything. By the way, her name is Yentha Coax Rock.
oh, thank goodness.
Coax.
Isn't that what I said?
Yeah, it was written in the book in the guide as Cock Rock, which sounds like a perverted pop rock.
Yeah. But anyway, so and so yeah, so now I thought maybe Prince Entomok could help.
Well, I think you've made the right choice. Tell me what you know of us in the Stoneheart Enclave.
Well, I know you guys are stalwart. I know you guys are true. You guys.
I'm not asking for our positive traits, but do you know why we're the Stoneheart Enclave and not the Emerald Enclave?
I don't. The Emerald Enclave has always been kind of
God worshipping.
Yeah, and
the Stoneheart Enclave is separated because our hearts are stone, but not in the way that poets and it would make us out to be horrid and distant, but we venerate the elements, particularly stone. Gods are part of the order of things, but they are not nature. And that's our belief. Hence why Prince Entomok is a valued ally, but not a god to us. He is a supreme elemental and a incredibly wise and brilliant source, but we don't summon him like we do other elementals. We ask him if he will grant us an audience. We do this with ritual and with ceremony, but that is a bit of the puppet show. She reaches inside and kind of inside of a pocket, and she pulls out a little piece of stone, and she says, "This simple piece of rock is how you summon Prince Entomok." And she tucks it back in her vest. She says, "If you wish to summon Prince Entomok, you must go and find yourself a piece of stone here in the chamber and go meditate on that circle and ask Prince Entomok if he will come."
I will do this.
And you know, she kind of whistles, and a bunch of the dwarves start leaving the chamber. And the camp, by the way, is like in the hallway leading towards the chamber, and she kind of points and she goes, "Go."
Okay. I assume I do this alone.
I mean, do you need someone to talk to Entomok for you?
No, I'm just knowing if my friends are going to be out here or not. So, I'll go. So yeah, she gets up and goes inside.
Yintha looks at Aelmar and says, "It's been a pleasure, but I do have much business in the city, so I will leave you.
Oh, of course.
Thank you again for all you've done for us."
Of course.
And
We shall see you again soon.
she nods to you and she walks away. So what do you do, Felicity?
So I enter the chamber and I look around for a stone.
There's rocks everywhere.
Okay.
There's-
If I remember, go ahead.
Go ahead.
As I say, if I remember correctly, Prince Entomok was a giant rock elemental, but he also had pink crystals.
Correct. Several of which are in this chamber, large crystals.
Right. Are there any of the pink crystals that have like a piece that is broken off, or small pieces that are nearby, or anything like that?
You see some around edges of the chamber, small little outcroppings of crystal. There might be a couple of loose pieces.
I will go to see if I can find a loose piece of that crystal.
And bear in mind, working the earth is what they do, so
right.
There's no shame in breaking one, as far as you know.
Right. I'll find one that looks, pretty and shaped, and well, not shaped like, but like very natural looking, and
you find one,
and I will take it into the center of the chamber, and I will sit and I will stare into the crystal, and I will remember the time when I first saw him, when he was when I first saw him, when he was surrounded by the bad elementals, and then I will remember the glory of him when he was freed from the elementals. But most importantly, I will remember the feeling that I felt in my soul when he touched me and gave me his boon. And I will concentrate on that feeling, and just basically in that feeling, in my head, I'll be like, "Please, I ask for your help. I ask for your audience." And that's just what I'll concentrate
on. As you concentrate on that, for quite some time, time passes quite literally a couple of hours, and you don't really feel anything happening.
Then, as is Felicity's wont, as she does, she just starts talking, and she talks about how, again, what's happened, the bad stuff with her mom, the good stuff with her other mom, how she wishes that, she hadn't done what she's done and she wishes she could make it right. More importantly, she wishes that she has some way that she can atone for the bad stuff that she's done, but she really wants to be whole again in some fashion so that she can help out her new family. Because if she's going to be of use to Aelmar, to Kiri, to Penny, to Roro, to Belisario, Regina, she needs to be whole again. And she just talks and rambles and
So you hear a voice behind you when you say it needs to be whole again. And the voice says, "Little Earth child is whole. Little flesh child seems healthy."
I will look behind me.
And there's Prince Intimok.
Hooray! How can I regain my connection to the earth, to the tutorial?
Hand slaps the ground, shakes a little bit. Cannot feel earth.
She puts her hand on the ground. I can.
Connected then when you touch. Earth all around. Flesh child needs power to make. And he kind of waves his hand and a ripple of earth appears. Flesh child's dark god not give power anymore.
Right.
It kind of stares at you sideways.
Right.
Flesh child needs power. Ask me for power.
I do. I ask you for power.
Earn you must.
What can I do?
Intimok fair. Intimok know Earthchild and friends do great good. Aid me against Foul Brother. Foul Brother sleep long time before he awake. I help you. I give you a path. Here. He kind of holds out this massive hand and opens it, and inside his hand you see a rock. And it's just this shitty chunk of stone. He hands it to you. Here, you take stone.
She reaches out. How big is the stone as compared to Felicity?
Like the size of your fist.
Okay.
Maybe a little bigger than your fist. Like, you can't close your hands around it. Let's call it softball size. How's that?
That works. Okay.
All right. So he hands you this softball size stone, just plain hunk of rock. This key to path. This you what is sit and stare at. Oh.
Focus?
No. Think hard. While look.
Concentrate. Meditate?
Meditate. Yes. Meditate. Find answer in stone.
Okay.
Meditate. No city.
No city.
Meditate. Earth. But Heart Earth. Home Earth.
The desert.
Is desert home?
That's where I was born. It's where I lived.
Soft and swirling sands. Intimok
Yes.
love desert. Warm. But not hot
Very
like
warm.
brother. Warm
But
desert,
cold at night.
yes. Yes, who is